Hi, Eric Wilson here, independent licensed mechanic with 30 years of experience. In the next 6 to 7 minutes, I'm going to give you the inside story in this 2012 Toyota Prius so you can make yourself an informed decision whether this is for you or not. Okay, coming in on the front right tire, you got about 70% tread on aggressive snow tires, so you got lots of meat for the winter time there. Now, coming behind the front right tire, this is your right outer tie rod, and critical, it's the most important thing in the whole car because it's the only thing that holds the wheel to the steering, and it is tight. This is your lower right ball joint, critical as well because it holds the wheel to the chassis. Now, this rubber boot right here, okay, this is full of grease, and if it was ripped, you'd see grease all over the place. It's important because it lubricates the axle and it keeps you going forward. Now this here, okay, this is your catalytic converter. Nothing wrong with it. The bad news is that people are reaching under there and going cut and going cut, and you've got yourself about a $1,500 repair. Now, the good news is that if you buy the vehicle, I am going to put a catalytic theft protection system on that, no cost. So simply contact me if you buy the vehicle. I will protect that, and you don't have to worry about your cat going missing because really, truly, I don't want to have to weld it back in for you. Yeah, it's money in my pocket, but it's a pain in the neck. So let's just stop it happening in the first place. Okay, behind the right front wheel again, this is your right sway bar link connected from here up to there, intact, doing its job. Front brakes, I'll tell you in a second here. Okay, front brakes, you got about 25,000 K left on your front brakes, so you got lots of good front brakes so far. Now, this right here is your, okay, this right here, if you look under there, that's good and dry. That's important because this tube here is the front suspension. It's full of oil. If it was leaking, you see it dripping all the way down there. It is not. So your suspension is tight on the front right. Now your spring suspension, if you follow it up, no cracks, no breaks. So brake-wise, brake-wise, suspension-wise, leak-wise, so far on the right, on the front right, no issues. Okay, coming into the right rear tire, you got about 30,000 K, practically brand new pads on the rear here. This is your right rear shock suspension, and I'll show you another angle there. Now this right rear shock, it is full of oil. Now if it was leaking, you see it dripping all the way down here, and it is dry. So that your rear suspension is good. Your rear spring suspension, no cracks, no breaks. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Like I say, lots and lots of brakes. Your no, I'm seeing any concern there. Shot of your exhaust right here. Good clean exhaust, no issues with that. Okay, coming across to the, and I'll come across to the left side now. Okay, coming in on the front left tire, you got about 70-80% on aggressive snow tires, so lots of snow tires for your, lots of snow for your winter time there. Now your right sway bar link connected from here up to there, intact and doing its job. Your left outer CV boot, again, good and dry, full of grease. The left lower ball joint is intact and strong, so no issues with that. So far so good. Okay, now the left strut, see for yourself, good and dry. Your spring suspension intact, no cracks, no breaks on the left front. Okay, the left outer tie rod is tight, and that's critical. Now the inner CV boot on that for the left side here, a little harder to see, but see for yourself, good and dry. So now this, okay, right here is your, your catalytic converter. Now, nothing wrong with it. The big problem is that people are stealing it. Now, if you buy the car, bring it to me. I'm going to install a anti-theft protection. That means that you're not going to be paying out like about $1,500 if somebody steals that cat, and that's going to cost you nothing. Okay? If you buy the car, contact me. I am going to install theft protection, and you can rest assured it's not going to go missing. So that's what I do. Okay, brakes in the front, about 20,000 K. Brakes in the rear, 25,000 K. A little more in the rear than you have in the front. Okay, coming down the left rear side, your left rear suspension, good and dry as you can see. Your left rear spring suspension, no cracks, no breaks. No leaks that I can see. So brake-wise, tire-wise, suspension-wise, looking good on the rear left side. Okay, you got 237,502K and no check engine lights that I can see. You do have a crack in the windshield right across the bottom there. That not something well, it's up to you. You can get it changed if you like, and that's about $300 to change a windshield if it needs to be done. So dash looking clean, no issues with that. Now I'll take you out and show you the condition of the motor. Okay, with the motor running. Okay, with a shot of the exhaust of the motor running. Good and clean. Okay, now I didn't hear anything of any concern in the motor, and I'll tell you something I always do is I take off the oil cap and I take a look underneath there for any kind of white goo, because if there's white goo, that means an indication of an internal leak, oil and antifreeze mixing, aka a head gasket, which means you walk away very quickly. Now that, as far as I can tell, is clean, and I'm not surprised because this thing looks like it's been well maintained as far as I can tell. Now, hopefully, folks, this will help you make an informed decision. And so don't forget, if you buy the vehicle, contact me. Catalytic theft protection system free, and I'm going to install a 10% fuel saving device on your car. Been doing it for 20 years, never fails, never stops working. That costs you nothing. Now, if this is not the vehicle you're looking for, by all means let me know, because I will do a tech video on any vehicle you want at no cost, no obligation, simply because I just want you to buy safe with Eric, and you got a right to know. Have a good one.